I think it was a 3-point game at half. They end up winning the game. Butler didn't play particularly well. Solo ball, made 6 threes, which again is, if he's shooting it at the level that he shot it last year, this team's offensive ceiling is not even close to being reached. And I think they're going to get there. But Goody, what are your thoughts on the Huskies winning by 10?
I was just surprised they didn't come out with more fire after the St. John's loss, right? Like, didn't we think they'd come out and Hurley would be MFing them since Friday night? And they would be like, caged animals getting out there at Hinkle and ready to destroy Butler. And they didn't. Like, they were okay. They did a good job on Butler's best 2 players, Ajayi and Finjack. But, ultimately they weren't great tonight. And they haven't been great. They really haven't played their A game too often this year. We're all waiting. And I've been probably more guilty than anybody because I was at the game when they lost to Arizona in stores without Terrace Reed and Braylon Mullins. And I was like, first of all, I could see how Hurley was after the loss. And you can read a coach very well, especially a guy like Hurley. He was not that upset. So I'm saying to myself, all right, if this dude's not upset after losing Arizona at home, he knows he's got a hell of a team, which we kind of knew. And Mullins comes back and Reed gets healthy. And I still have him winning the whole thing. But I don't have confidence, and we'll get there for our 4 teams. Obviously, I've tipped off that they're one of the 4. I like them a lot, but I don't think they're any better than anybody else. I think there's 4 or maybe more teams that you could probably throw in a hat. I would throw 8 in there right now, but I got to pick 4, which is not going to be fun. But yeah, if Solo Ball's making shots, the good thing is they've got 5 or 6 guys that can really hurt you. Really hurt you. The bad thing is their bench hasn't come along nearly as much as I thought it would this year. I thought they would be like Michigan. I thought they would be 8-9 strong with the guys coming off the bench, like Slade just said, like getting after it, ready to take some minutes, and that hasn't been the case.
Slade, what do you think about the con?
Yeah, I like them. I just think during that stretch, like Good just said, man, with Mullins being out, Reed being out, that was an opportunity for somebody to come out and say, all right, I'm that next guy up. Give me an opportunity. And all you need is 12 to 15 minutes from a guy that can play the 3 to 4, get in there, defend, get some rebounds, whatever it is to impact the game. And they haven't been able to find that. And that's shocking in a sense because you're putting a lot of responsibility on none of those guys really having off nights once you get past the Sweet 16. So, but I think they're tough, man. And I also don't want to use that as an excuse of them not being able to gel yet. But I do think they're gonna peak at the right time with those guys, man. And like I think they can still get more. I know Solo Ball he can ignite everything, but I think they can get a little bit more out of Silas Demery. But it remains to be seen. The depth would be the only thing that I question about them, and I think they could be honestly better defensively night in and night out because that's one of the things they could definitely lean on. But it's similar to what Duke is going to go through. I don't think Duke has the depth either. UConn the same way, but they got more offensive firepower than Duke could even think about. So,
all right, Coach, what you got?
I think Coach Hurley is obviously coaching this team differently than what he has in the past. Some of the guys he had in the past, maybe he felt he had to MF him, get after him, yell at him, scream at him. I think he's looking at it and says, I got to coach Demery a little different. I got to coach Mullins a little different. To get the most I can out of Terrace Reed, I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think you're seeing his demeanor be different. I even saw at halftime, they interviewed him and he said we had way too many immature turnovers. Immature basketball turnovers. We had we've got to get better defensively. We're not as aggressive. So I think he knows they're going to continue to get better. He's got to coach him in a certain way. I think he understands it's a long season, so you don't want to wear your guys out. And maybe he learned something from his team last year. Maybe he was so hard on those guys last year, it kind of wore out and it went the opposite way rather than going the way he wanted it to go. So I think he's just coaching his team differently. I think they are an extremely dangerous team. They can really score the ball when they get all those guys shooting. I like that Mullins is posting up smaller people, getting to his turnaround, scoring. I don't know if they could ever be an elite defensive team because one, they got Carabao on the floor. Mullins is a decent defender, but he's not a get after you guy. Okay. And really, Tyrus Reed is not a shot blocker. So I think they're always going to be great position defensively and physical and stuff, but I don't think they're ever going to be an elite defensive team. But I do think they got a chance to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean,